My gosh, I love it right away. I see hello from Philly, Alabama. People know I'm going to say, what are you drinking? And where are you from? I am on Vancouver Island in BC, and it is a wet day, um, or damp, I should say. But I am excited. I'm going to start this beautiful candle. This is such a good smelling candle. My sister-in-law Colette, who often comes, or who sometimes comes to our lives, like she works around her schedule. Um, this is Gaiac wood and smoked vanilla. She recommended this awesome company, and oh, I am just loving candles right now. It is just so lovely and so nice. So, hello from Windsor. Hello, Carolyn, Kentucky, Yarrow, Colleen. Oh my gosh, so good having everybody here. I am now that Halloween is over, and I absolutely love Halloween, but I was very proud of myself. Hello, Megan. I right away was just like, okay, let's put away the Halloween stuff, grabbed it, put it away. It felt good. In the past, I've just like straight up replaced it with Christmas stuff. We're not doing that this year. The only thing I didn't put away was my Lego haunted house because I'm short. So to reach it, I either have to get something or ask somebody to get it down. And I didn't get it as early as I wanted to. But I do want to talk today. First, I have a very special announcement. And I also have, I want to talk about planning for Christmas because when we plan, great things can happen. Abbotsford, we've got Janine. I've got somebody from North Carolina. Sene, I'm so sorry. Sene is in our Untangled membership. She's on the Facebook page. And I never know how to say your name, but you're wonderful and you're always commenting, which is great. Hello, Michelle from Indiana. So, what drink are you guys having? So, this is Kelsey, who often comes to our lives. She recommended this company, Murchie's, because I was always drinking David's tea, and I do still drink David's tea. But Murchie's I love Murchie's now. I'm telling you, they're a BC company, and this one is it's Storm Watcher. Oh my gosh, it is so good. Simone, she's here for a bit. That's good. Yeah, there's going to be a replay. I wasn't sure. So, guys, when it comes to YouTube, hello, Lindsay, here with Barbara and her coffee. When it comes to YouTube, all of us YouTubers, it's a lot of work. And we're always like, what should I do this? Should I do that? And we always like talk to each other. And so when I was chatting with Cass, she was saying, so I chatted with this girl, and she had said she takes her live streams down because it messes with the analytics. So I was like, okay. So I was always taking mine down after a couple days. Then Cass was like, I just leave mine up. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna start leaving mine up. So now that's what I do. Sheila's here. Michelle, hello. Sarah Lith, that's a cool name. You got Starbucks. And hot jasmine tea sounds nice. Ooh. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So Lindsay, who's here, just sent a text to my other friend. We're in a group text, and I'm like, "What?" My brain was like confused for a second. You bought the water boiler. Isn't it amazing? I was just thinking about the water boiler yesterday and how it is so good. I love it. We've had it for 2 years, and it's just our thing. So guys, let's chat about planning for Christmas. Now I know it's early. For me, it is too early to do a lot of Christmas stuff. Now in the past, I have actually I have done I've decorated early. And in Canada, there's a thing here because we have November 11th, which is called Remembrance Day. And it's always, or there's a sort of like a ongoing theme where people say like, don't decorate before Remembrance Day. Like we need to honor it. And then other people say, well, the soldiers died so that we could have freedom and all of these things. And for me, one year, it was actually because I was making YouTube videos. I was like, I'm going to decorate for Christmas before Remembrance Day. And oh gosh, you guys, it was way too early. It was way too early because number one, it felt wrong. No judgment, but it just felt wrong for me. And number two, I really, really was just sick to death of that Christmas stuff. Basically, by the time it was like the first week or 2 of December. So I just was like, no, now and then I know like a lot of Americans, they decorate after the American or after Thanksgiving, as they call it. We call it the American Thanksgiving for, obvious reasons. So what I do is now I pretty much decorate the weekend after the American Thanksgiving. This year, my husband and I are going to see the band Depeche Mode in Vancouver that weekend. So I guess it'll be the couple days after that. And it's funny because my kids, who are all teenagers now, my youngest is 14, and then there's a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old who is away. And yeah, he is definitely not going to be a part of it. The other two, they don't care. I'm the only one that cares. I swear to God, if I said, let's not have a Christmas tree, they'd all be like, sure. Like, I live with a bunch of men. They do not care. So, what I do, yeah. So I think I'll probably decorate like that before December. Yeah. So, but the good news is you don't have to decorate now. We're planning, because if we want to have success at Christmas, we need to do a little bit of planning. So before I get into the planning, I do want to tell you guys about a special new fun announcement for my channel, business, whatever. Because I love to chat with you guys and we love our live streams and I get like blah, 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 telling stories and stuff. I have decided I'm going to start a podcast. In fact, I started recording a couple. Now, I have been listening to podcasts for, oh gosh, since before I had my second son, who's 16 now, forever. Like back, I remember listening. Let me know if you know any of these shows, but I would listen to Manic Mommies because I had like babies. I hadn't even had my third kid yet. Um, and I would listen to Stuff You Should Know, who are still making podcasts. And you know what? Manic Mommies, they don't anymore. I think because all of their kids are grown up. But I really liked them. They did do a quick little bit during the beginning of the pandemic, which was nice. It was just nice to hear them again. But anyway, so I love podcasts. And so this podcast is coming out very, very soon. And it will be on YouTube. So you can watch the video or you can listen to it. You can get it on iTunes and you can get it on Spotify, Google, like all of the bigger ones. There's like, I don't know, 10 that I signed up for. And I've already got it like working in the background. What I'm calling it, you guys, this is some insider info. I'm calling it Hocus Focus Home because I am going to change the name of my channel in December to Hocus Focus Home. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because I had a channel that is, well, I still do technically have it, called Hocus Focus for ADHD, but I loved that name. And my husband came up with it, but also another lady in our Facebook group, she also recommended it. And I was just like, I love that name. But also, Minimalist Home is so, I mean, I like it, but it's kind of boring. It's not that memorable. And I figure with Hocus Focus Home, it's good. And the other thing I thought, especially now, it's kind of appropriate that I'm thinking of changing it, is because I am a minimalist in a lot of ways. We're not extreme. However, um, I do have 3 Christmas trees. I'm just gonna say it. Actually 4, if you think about the little short one I have. So that's the one area where I am, like, not that minimalist. I am when it comes to the actual decorating, but I do have the 4 trees, and it mostly is, like, for the light. Everything else is pretty simple, but that's just my little admission to you guys. So we are going to change the name. So I'm just like, okay, well, we're just gonna straight up call the podcast Hocus Focus Home, Hocus Focus Home podcast, and that will be coming out very soon. So I just wanted to tell you guys about that first because you guys are awesome and I absolutely love it. I'm so glad that that you like that idea, which is good. And CJ likes the hocus pocus. Yay, that's awesome. I am so glad. And I will in fact, I think I'll probably just like put that on my name for YouTube right now so that it changes. So, yeah, safer while driving. That's so good. Well, and the thing is, like, I love podcasts because whenever I'm doing anything, like, let's face it, as women, we're busy. I mean, I think it's all women here. And when I am gardening, I am listening to a podcast or an ebook, but almost always a podcast. Like, very rarely it's an ebook. When I'm cooking, when I'm decluttering, when I'm cleaning, when I'm doing anything other than working out, that's the only time I actually opt for music. I don't know why I don't even like when I'm driving, I'm just like, no, like I want to listen to a podcast. So I was like, I want to, because then the good news about the podcast too is then I can chat longer. I don't have to feel like with YouTube, good, there's a really good, what does that say? If I would search now, I won't find you. No, you won't find me just yet. So I will announce it on the channel and it will actually just like come up. It's going to be attached to this channel. Yeah. So that is really good. But also the thing about YouTube is I don't want to say you need to be brief, but we definitely need to not you don't wanna like right now, where I'm taking, like, forever to get a thought out. You wanna, like, just kinda, like, keep it going because you can watch the retention graph. The analytics for YouTube isn't crazy, you guys, but you can watch the, retention graph go like this. So, instead, with the podcast, I can just, like, chat, and it's nice. Like, there's just way less pressure. Way less pressure. Oh my gosh, you guys are all so lovely, 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 and I'm so glad. So when you listen, like, please, like, leave a review on app. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's so funny because I have just been listening to podcasts so long where they're always like, what do they say? Rate and review. And they're like, we're on all of the podcast apps and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, yes, Missed in History is so good. And like I said, I love stuff you should know. There's like a bunch of like business and creator ones I listen to, but there's just some that are just, and I love like there's this one, it's called Too Scary Didn't Watch, and I've mentioned this before, but they talk, and I can't listen to all of them, but they talk about scary movies, and the one girl, two of them are scared of scary movies, one isn't, and she will just tell the whole story to them, and it's so cute listening to them um, explain or like listen to her telling about the podcast. And so I can't even listen to them all. Any with goats, I'm out. I cannot. Funny enough, it's actually helped me be able to watch more. But anyway, I'm completely digressing. I like that one. Okay, guys. So stand by for the podcast. We're gonna go out big. It's coming out next week, probably next Thursday. I'm just like waiting to see if like the Apple and the Google get going. I think it's like ready to go on Spotify, which is good. Um, so yeah, I'm super duper excited and I'm so glad that you guys are excited as well, which is great. Yay! Now, speaking of excitement, let's talk about Christmas and planning. All right. Goodbye. I'm just saying, I'm reading because somebody's leaving. Okay. Minimalist Home is a good name too. Thank you. I appreciate you remember it. I told a friend yesterday to listen to it and I remembered the name. Good. Thank you so much, Eliza. That is so sweet. I'm not sure if it's Eliza or Lisa. But I appreciate that. Yes, that is nice. And to be honest, I was like, if I just kept it, it would be less work because I have like my email address is Minimalist Home. I have other Like there's, it's work, but I do think it's a good step to take. I may quickly change my mind and then I will have to it'll be an issue with the podcast, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So Christmas and planning. Now, like I said, we don't have to decorate just yet. What we're going to do, we're just in the planning stage. And I will quickly tell you, I don't have it here. Oh, well, I do. Okay. First of all, I'm going to tell you a quick story. Now, I do tell this in one of my upcoming videos, so don't leave the video when you watch it. We're talking analytics here. A few years ago, probably like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I can remember very vividly, even what I was wearing. We were on a walk. It was snowy before Christmas, very rare here on Vancouver Island. And I remember it was like December 23rd, and I was sad because I hadn't gotten a lot of the things I wanted to get done. Now, I've been clear, my family does not care, but I do. I have always loved Christmas ever since I was a little girl, just straight up like young adult, whatever. I always decorated. I've always really been into it. But when that year, I just didn't get as much done. And I was like, what the heck? Like, why can I not get a lot done? I was like, I'm not in nursing school anymore because for a long time I was in nursing school when I had my kids. And I just was like, what the heck? And then I just was like, that's it. So I just wrote down, I got out a bullet journal. This is actually one of them because I was trying to find the right one. It's in the kitchen because I was making a video. But anyway, so I just started writing down all of the things I wanted to do because I was like, I didn't get to watch all of the Christmas shows I want to watch. I didn't listen to all the music I want to listen to. And so instead so what I did, and then I also wrote down like all of the things that I want to eat, all of the things, any drinks we want to have, any plans, like maybe I want to have a get together. I wrote all of it down and I was like, you know what? I am, um, this is never going to happen again because I love Christmas. I only get, so many of them in this life. And I really, really want to make the most of it. So I made a list of the things that I want to get done. And I then went to, hold on, I'm trying to do two things at once. Clearly, I am not good at that. So what I did instead was I then started plopping things into my calendar, things that needed to get done. And I then made a Christmas handbook here. And I am going to get the link for that right now because I bet some of you might like that. Because what it is it will help you. And what I have in it is like the things that I want to do for planning, which is like what we're looking at right now. What are we wanting to plan? We are wanting to plan like tire shopping or just like straight up putting on our getting our tires put on, putting up Christmas lights. So, and a funny story because my husband was like, I am done putting up Christmas lights. And I was like, okay, I get it. So he actually wants to get these lights installed that are, there we go. I'm just copying this. And they're actually on your house all year and they're just kind of like tucked underneath the eaves. There, I put the link. So you guys can download this too if you want. And anyway, so he doesn't have to put the lights up anymore. But I have Christmas lights November 1st. Not that you necessarily put them up then. You don't necessarily turn them on then, but you're thinking like, hey, we need to start getting our Christmas lights up, when the weather is good. Polar Express tickets because we go and see the Polar Express down in Victoria and we need to buy them. So anyway, I have my Christmas playlist. Now, I made this. This is just my stuff, but it's an example. But in that link that I just put there, there's a blank copy for you to write down all of the things you want to do. And because you're getting it so early, November the 3rd, then you can straight up start doing some of it now. And you don't need to do it all now. But like Christmas playlist, let me see, do I have that on here? What I do is I will I think I have a playlist and I think I've shared it before and I'll probably share it again. But I just download it to my phone. So when I'm ready for the music, I can turn it on. So I downloaded it November 15th, and I probably still won't listen to anything until we like decorate. Um, but it's just nice to start getting ready. Like, what are your favorite Christmas shows and movies? So I've got Scrooged and Elf and National Lampoons, Christmas with the I put Cranky, but it's Cranks, Krampus, Charlie Brown, like all of these Die Hard. There's a real debate if that's a Christmas show. Apparently, it really is. Like It's a Wonderful Life. I know technically not a Christmas show, but like, come on, it is. Just a bunch of things. So I've just got a bunch of things that I like to watch, and they're just as examples for you. And then I also have favorite baking. So things that we like: shortbread, jello. Why am I spelling everything wrong? Okay, sorry. Gingerbread, vanilla crans, cranberry spurs, like just a bunch of things in these. And not that I'm necessarily making all of these, but I'm just sort of planning it out. Pantry staples. So things that you want to have in your pantry. So when you're like, it's time, I want to cook this, that it's there. So if you just start the planning now, like now you could definitely buy any of your pantry staples. Everything would be fine by the time Christmas came around. You probably wouldn't buy the lox or the bagels. Yeah, you could have the capers and the cream cheese. Oh, okay. Favorite snacks: sausage rolls, mushroom dips, scallops, just whatever. And then like for Christmas dinner, the things that I like to have at Christmas dinner. And I put liquor down, although we don't really drink anymore. Not, it's just so bad for you. So we're like, why? But anyway, so you can get this. Just go to that link and you'll get a copy of mine and one for you to fill out. So anyway, here are the three things that I think that you should plan before Christmas. And where did I have that written down here? Okay. The first thing that I think that you should look at planning is gifts. Now, one of the things you can do, and I have this in my own book, is just who I'm buying for. And then I will, because so like for my husband and my kids and my mom, those are like the people where I buy like a more personalized gift. And my mother-in-law a bit, but sometimes we go in on things with my husband's sisters. So then what I'll do is I'll say like, well, what kind of things do I want to do? Like with my husband, I'm kind of thinking that what I want to do is perhaps like he loves baseball caps. So I was like, maybe I'm just gonna buy him like 10. Like, really, right? But it's just an idea. So start brainstorming, start searching. Don't just be like, "Oh, yeah, well, I don't know," and then move on. Like, no, like spend like half an hour thinking, "What am I going to get this person?" Like the hard person. Men are always the hardest to buy for, and lucky me, I'm buying for almost all men. My mom, she's so easy. I already know what I'm getting her, right? Which is great. And so what I could do, I could even buy that now if I wanted to and like set it aside. The other thing is like so thinking about gifts and then also thinking about stockings. Like I love the stocking stuffers in my family. We do stockings for adults. My it's so funny. At Christmas, my grandparents, my grandma, she always had like by far the most presents. I mean, I guess the most people were buying for her perhaps, but at the same time, she and like stockings full, so fun. So we would just start you could even just start thinking about stockings now. And one of the biggest things is people, they don't want to get a bunch of clutter for their friends and family. And in our family, quite often the stockings would have like these little metal, like kind of like weird puzzle things or kind of just not quality stuff. And not to criticize the gifts, but just that when people are when they're like it's just like they're like, "Oh, I'll do this is good for a stocking stuffer." But then nobody's like, "Oh, good. Now I'm going to keep all of these like little weird metal puzzles." Like, no. So it's like, what can you put in there? When in our family, like, quite often, I am like, socks and underwear. I put in chocolate, I put in, like, things they're gonna need, things they're gonna use, maybe something fun. With our kids, then what we started doing is getting them because we don't usually buy, like, the sugary cereal, but I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get them each, like, a thing of sugary cereal." I get them each, like, a thing of Pringles because they're all teenagers now. So, basically, I'm just getting them, like, things of junk food, and they love it, which is perfect. And with my mom, I can do something similar. I can get her tea. Like I love David's tea. They always have like really good gift things, like any place, no matter where you are. Like there's going to be some kind of like cool tea or coffee things you can get. So just thinking about the gifts. So like make a list of things you want to put in stockings if you do stockings. Um, and also like as far as like the gifts goes, like plan the budget that goes with that. The other thing that you can do is so first thing to plan right now is gifts. The second thing that you can plan is I agree. My mother-in-law, who is Scottish, she takes my kids to the pantomime as well every year. There's one in town. Okay, so the second thing that you should plan is events. Perfect timing, Susie. Thank you. Yeah, planning events. So, what kind of events are you going to do? It's early in November. So you can just say like, well, what kind of things do we want to do? Is there a work Christmas party? Are we going to it? Are we going to my husband's and mine? What are we doing? Are we maybe going to skip them? Because you can do that. The other thing is for my family, I'll just let you know what kind of things we do. So there is the pantomime that my mother-in-law takes the kids to. We can also take the hold on. I'm getting distracted by this here. So I'm just gonna put that mindfulness. Okay. The other thing was we always go to Victoria in just down the island here, and they have a beautiful thing at Butchart Gardens. If you look that up, um, it's beautiful. It's magical, and we take our kids down there, and we've done it for many, many years now. And we stay at this nice hotel where they have, and we budget this. We save for this all year, and it's got this. They always have this gingerbread contest in the lobby of the hotel, which is really neat. And there's always like some kind of theme. I really hope it's not Barbie this year. But anyway, so it wasn't last year. I'm just thinking everything's Barbie themed right now. So anyway, we go to Victoria and we do that. We go for dinner. Like that is one of the things that we plan. Plan like going and looking at Christmas lights. There's a little town south of here. They have the most amazing Christmas light display. So what kind of things can you plan? Like just set out. Are you having Christmas dinner? Great. That's good to know. Okay, I'm gonna look here at some comments. I ordered some Christmas cards yesterday. Great. Cash, gift cards, experiences. Yes. And we are going to get into that in a second because I do have a couple of questions that came from YouTube too. Pocket knives and multi-tools are great for men and women. Yes. But actually, yeah, my one son, his pocket knife got taken because he went to a concert. And they were like, you can't bring a knife in. So he lost his knife. So he might be getting one of those for Christmas. This year we're skipping presents and all going on a trip to Phoenix. Yay! That is great. And I love that idea. So we're planning out gifts, we're planning out events or experiences, and we are planning out food. Now that goes really well with the experiences planning because there is something in my eye. Food. So say you were hosting Christmas dinner. What kind of things are you going to want? So in the holiday handbook here, I've got like the snacks that I want. And a lot of these things, like sausage rolls, my mother-in-law, she gave us a sausage roll recipe and so I could buy those things because most of them stay in the freezer. I can buy all of the stuff for the baking. So that is like planning you can do, but even just making a list and then planning out when you're going to buy that. It's just so helpful to write down, okay, so these are all the people I'm buying gifts for. These are the ideas I have. No pressure, but just these are the ideas I have. If you carry around a cell phone and you have an idea that pops into your head, save it and then come back to it. For years, I used something else now, but I would just use the notes app on my phone. And if I had an idea, I would put it in there, and it just made it so much simpler. If you can get the gifts done in November, and yes, like maybe you'll like do some on Black Friday because like that just makes sense. But then that's done, because the point is, if you do all of the planning now, then you can have fun in December. Um, so yeah, like you've got your list you've made of all the people you're buying gifts for, and then you're writing down all of the fun things you're going to do with your family, and then you're writing down all of the food that you think you'll need, that you want to cook or whatever. And then what I do is I actually start doing a little bit of baking in November. Now I have to hide it from my husband mostly, and my kids, but mostly my husband. So we get this big I thought I saw this, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Years ago, my friend, she brought back, or my sister-in-law brought back some macadamia nuts from Hawaii, like covered in chocolate. My husband loved them, but she gave me some, and I don't like to eat all my chocolate right away. So I put it in a Ziploc bag and I buried it in the flour. Um, so what I'm going to do with the baked goods that I do is at Costco, they have a great big bag of frozen broccoli in like packets, and I have a great big bag in there. What I'm going to do is put the frozen baked goods in there. He'll never know. It's going to be great. So planning all of that can be so helpful. Okay. Let me look. Ah, thank you. That's how you found me. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, and that is why I initially chose the name, right? Mm, so hard to make these decisions. Ceramic box opener is tiny and useful tool. That is a great idea. All but one of our kids are adults, so we do an experience memory trip for Christmas. Oh my gosh, I have always wanted to go and stay at a cabin. Giant twist tie. Okay, I will look that up. I will look that up. I love the photo of you on your website planner page. Thank you. Will your Christmas lights be multicolored or only one color? Here, I'll put the link in there again for you guys. They are okay. So these Christmas lights that we're getting, you can actually change the color. Like I think you actually just control them from your phone. So that is what we're gonna do. The guy actually apparently is gonna like drive by and like do a estimate today, so that's good. Because my husband, he's just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to die. There are, he's got to climb up there, and I get it. And then it's like a matter of like, okay, can he go put them up? And then like, when is he going to take them down? So yeah. Hiding baked goods in the freezer. Yeah. Okay. So I do have some questions from the YouTube. Where did I have that open up? I have a lot of windows here. Let's go dashboard. I'm just going to my YouTube. Okay, so now there are 6 questions. Let's see if I can get to them all. Okay, so the questions that people on YouTube asked are, okay, I am not a minimalist. However, do you agree on downsizing the Christmas gifts? Yes. If so, can you give us some tips on how to do that? And that is from Angelus. So I love the idea. Like we just talked, like experience gifts are a good idea. There was one year where we gave our kids this thing called Wild Play, which is in Nanaimo where I live. And it's like there's like zip lines and climbing. And we gave them a gift card to that. So that was one of their gifts. Now, I don't know if you know the love languages. And my husband, he is gifts is his love language, which I mean, that is the opposite of my love language. So I gotta give him gifts. So for him, if our kids didn't have a ton of gifts, he felt awful. He would just be like, oh my gosh, this is the worst Christmas. We didn't give them lots of gifts. But then he finally started seeing like they don't need so much stuff. So just start. Like maybe what you could do is just what we did, we just sort of started giving them less gifts as time went on. And I think like experience gifts are huge. Even if you just said like we're going, my kids love the keg, which is not cheap. And when we go down to Victoria, that's where we go. We go to the keg. They love it. Like my 16-year-old said this was his favorite part of Christmas is going to the keg. Or not the keg, going to Victoria, but also the keg because he loves the keg. Simone asks, as you have teenage boys, my eldest is turned 12. Can you share some wisdom as what seems like the most meaningful gifts? Oh my gosh. It's really hard to find meaningful gifts for men. I'm telling you, a 12-year-old boy, that's a hard one. Um, if there is something that they want, it's funny. One year we really held off a long time on getting phones for our kids, and actually, our 14-year-old does not want one. He says, "I don't want to be one of those people always looking at my phone," which is interesting. I'm like, okay, I guess like we'll hold off then. That's fine. So that's good. But one year our oldest, he wanted a phone and we tricked him into thinking he wasn't getting it and we got him. So he liked that. But 12 is, you might not want to do that. I wouldn't blame you. I'm very glad my 14-year-old doesn't want one yet. So yeah, it's hard to say. It depends on what he's into. Meaningful, I think something really fun could be just time where he gets some time with just you and your husband. I know our kids really like that. There was one year where we brought each of them to a movie, just my husband, me, and the kid. So they liked that. So Amy asks, how do you tackle minimalism with a multi-faith family? That question confuses me because I don't know how minimalism what it has to do with faith, and I think she might have meant Christmas with a multi-faith family. And I know, Melissa Maker, who has the channel Clean My Space, she is Jewish and her husband is, I believe, Christian, or I don't know. They celebrate Christmas also. And I think you can just make things work. For me, I think the more fun things, celebrations you can have, the better. Um, Another question from Jamie was, how much holiday decoration should I have that it won't be too much or overwhelming? Also, what do you do for decorating? So I did mention that I do have like 3 bigger trees and 1 smaller tree. So that is my one like guilty minimalist um thing. But um I don't necessarily believe that you need to have a lot as far as decorating goes. Like I said, I do have the 4 trees, but there's not a lot that extends beyond that. There's a little bit. We have like this big shelf in our living room you may have seen in videos, and I do have plans to get rid of that, but I've got to save up for like a different kind of like console to go under the TV, and then that's it. That thing is gone, and I will be so happy. So I do make use of the shelves, obviously, but I love the Scandinavian look. And Diane in Denmark, I did a video with her, and she also, and she may have even started, she is going to be doing Scandinavian Christmas, like leading up to Christmas. It's going to be amazing. But I love the Scandinavian look, and Sene is here. And maybe she could say, like, I think just like having a nice tree, a nice simple tree, and just a few things is good. Like, I feel like with Christmas decorations, less is more. Having less out is much more festive. You can enjoy it more. So that is one. Let me look at the comments here. Hiding baked goods in the freezer. Yes. Mine is time and acts of service. Yeah. So mine is, I think mine is physical touch and maybe acts of service. I think my husband's also is acts of service. He really likes when I make him tea. So that's good. Can't find a plan or email link goes to a website which says to check my email. I check spam. Not there. Huh. That's weird. Interesting. I will look at that in a minute. For teens with phones, look into phone stands. They will hold it for them, which is handy. Oh, that's a good idea. I was getting the same thing. It's not triggering the email with the actual planner. Okay, I will look at that quickly. When my kids were little, I bought everything I knew they wanted every year, playing with the boxes until it completely fell apart. That's good. That's good. I love it. Um, you seriously, boxes are certainly my cats. Diane is awesome. Huga and Light. Yes, and I am doing the video about Huga. Let me look here. You guys, stand by while I quickly check this. Oh, good. Handy thing is I have it ready to go. Send me the handbook. Success page. Oh, you know what? I don't think I actually uploaded, which is funny. And I'm going to do that right now, you guys. Download the handbook. Isn't that funny? So I will fix that. What you can do, sign up for it. And as soon as this call is done, I will fix it and email it to anybody who has tried to sign up for it. Let me just make sure. What did you say happens here? Email link goes to a website which says check my email. Okay, I will send it. Now, if you get the email, did you click on the button? Click on the button, and then I'll send it to you just to be sure. I'm so glad you guys told me that. I'm very glad I mentioned it during this call. I wasn't even going to. Oh, okay, one or two more questions. I'm going to reiterate some of the other comments. How do you handle family who won't respect present giving boundaries? We've tried limiting number of presents, dollar amount spent per person, investing in experiences rather than presents in the past, but my mother always ignores those boundaries and overspends on gifts every year. So I think that it's really important. Anytime we're setting boundaries, it can be awkward, but it's so important. So I think that I would be like, okay, mom, let's go out for lunch. Let's have a little chat and just explain to her why it is that you want them to have less. Why less gifts are better for your kids. And this is the thing, like we talked about love languages and gift giving, and we also in our extended family have some family members who their love language is gift giving. And we've said like we don't want the kids to have like a ton of presents. So I have a friend and she actually would tell her in-laws what to give her kids every year. And it was like, wow, like I was kind of surprised. But the thing is, like, so often people will say, like, well, what should I get the kids? I don't know. And you can be like, get them this. And this is what I want them to get. Like, you know what they need, you know what will be good for them. And I would really just like say it was my mom. I'd be like, let's go for, just really want to buy you lunch. I want to have a chat with you. Or even like if, if she's not nearby, have a phone call and just be like, oh gosh, like we are overrun with stuff. And I feel like it's like the kids, they have so much, they don't know what to play with. It's really overwhelming. And I want them to appreciate the stuff that they have. So if there's so much stuff, it's hard to keep on top of. And you could even joke and be like, "Hey, if you want to come over and declutter some stuff, like that's up to you." So I think that that's one of the best ways to deal with that. It's really hard, but when it comes to like people ignoring boundaries, you need to set those boundaries. You need to say to people like this is what it is. This is what I these are the rules for my life and our life. And very, very gently. And my friend Lindsay, who was here on the live stream, her and I have we did a video together, and actually I'm going to put that up as a podcast. Like there's way more to it. So that will be coming out this month as well. And I'm going to Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about, or we do talk about, like, how to share with people your feelings, why it's important to you, acknowledging them. Like, you could be like, "You are such an amazing grandma. And I can tell you love these kids so much. And I also think your love language might be gift giving. Am I right? Yeah, I thought so. So you could say, how about you give them like this one thing and then maybe take them for lunch or take them for a movie or something. That might be a good idea. And just acknowledge just how great that grandma is and why and that you appreciate, like, yes, like, I can see why you're doing this so good, but unfortunately there is a problem that comes with that, and be like, I know you don't want me to be overwhelmed. I know you don't want the kids to be overwhelmed. So I think this would be a good solution. Now, I literally am basically like channeling Lindsay right now, and the things that she would say. So what you could do is, yeah, watch that video and or wait for the podcast in a couple of weeks. Um, and then the last question, which is sort of similar to the last one, and it says, about downsizing the Christmas gifts, how to do that creatively with 4-year-old and family who understand, please no more gifts as this kid has nothing to play with. So they think when you say don't buy gifts that, oh, we don't want him to like have toys or whatever. I'm not saying no to gifts, but I want it to be way less. What is the ideas for the present for people who have everything. So again, chatting with family, letting them know exactly, what your heart is and where you're feeling. Lindsay, she's here. She's like, "Yeah." um and yes, of course you can re-gift things. The problem with that with kids is then you're taking, thank you, Lindsay, is you're taking that away from them, which is not, that's not fun. And when I first started decluttering, this was a big mistake I made. With I always started with, um oh my gosh, my brain. I always started with the kids stuff. Sorry, I'm also looking at like this download thing. And that wasn't right. You don't start with the kids stuff. So say to your mom, like, I don't like, then I've got to declutter their stuff. And then that causes like a rift between me and them. So there's that. And then the other thing is like, what is your idea for the present for people who have everything? Experiences. So in my family, it's like we'll say to my aunt, who actually I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's her birthday. I'll say, like, I'm going to take you for lunch. And I have said that for the last few years and I haven't. So now what I'm actually going to do, because today is her birthday, I'm going to text her and I'm going to say, let's go for lunch on Saturday or something like that. So then I'm like, I can take you for lunch and this is what we're doing. That's an easy thing to do with adults. Even some adults, they don't want that. They actually want a thing, which is understandable. Like that's a gift giving love language thing, and that's fine. You can figure something out there. But I think experiences are huge. And with kids, they might not be satisfied with just an experience. I have a friend, she took her kids to Vancouver, which is just like across the water, and they had fun. And that was part of their Christmas present. So I think, like, if that was my kids, I would do that, but also get them something else that they really wanted. My kids are teenagers. They're definitely getting a lot of clothes this year and something else that's fun. I'm not sure what yet, but now that it's beginning in November, I am definitely going to start looking at that. Let's see. Ask me more questions before we're done here because we're going to wrap up soon. I need to fix this email thing. It's stressing me out. My daughter insists that we do one holiday at a time. No Christmas decor on Thanksgiving, so I start Christmas the day after. I think that's good. And I like that. For us, we're in Canada, so Thanksgiving is long gone here. And we really truly are just like, oh, okay, well, it's November. But for me, I love, like, I got my candle here, my fall candle, which is almost done. And I I was actually like jumping into Christmas too early because I felt like then I was robbing myself of some fall time. And Christmas is a lot. So I like the idea of starting like right after the American Thanksgiving, which is perfect because then I get like basically a month of it. And then as soon as Christmas is done, I'm like, take that down. I know some people they wait until Epiphany or whatever. Nope, I like it gone before New Year's. Consumables for the person who has everything. Yes. Absolutely. And in fact, for my mother-in-law and my mom, she gets this too, and my grandparents, what I do is I put together a gift basket. So my husband, he always makes these like spiced pecans. I will put chocolate. In fact, here, look at this. Now you're going to see that I've got jogging pants on. So, Zoom, you don't need to fancy yourself up. This box that's been in the background. This is from the company Purdy's. It looks like a lot. I think it's 5 pounds of chocolate. These are the what are they called? They're less than perfect or not quite perfect or something like that. I better put that down flat. And so I order that, and now I have 5 pounds of chocolate, quality chocolate. Although it's a lot of caramels this year. I did sneak peek. And then what's funny is then you're gonna laugh, you guys, because my husband loves chocolate. So I taped it shut after I opened it, and I put, "You'll regret opening this," because he keeps saying like, let's open the chocolate. Let's open the chocolate. Yeah. So anyway, in the gift basket, I put like a little bit of chocolate, and then I put some cookies that I made. And I mean, really, like, these are people who have everything they need. But and so for my grandparents, they definitely get the gift basket. For my mother-in-law, I like to see what my sisters-in-law have planned. And then for my mom, I'll get her something else, but I love to give them that. Right. So then there's that little bit too. Okay. Let's see. Any questions or comments? I learned my kids' love language is time. That's nice. My grandmother liked to open the boxes, so we wrapped her presents. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's really sweet. I like that. We in the US have the Thanksgiving barrier. Yeah. You make a good point that you don't have that. Yeah, we really don't. And that's just it. So that there was actually, yeah, like there were times where I started way too early, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I love how you are realistic and not extreme like other minimalists. That's partially why I want to change the name. And does that seem weird that I call it minimalist and then I'm not extreme? Let me know, because now I'm starting to question changing the name. And you forgetting what you were saying makes you real. Makes me feel better that I'm not the only one. Oh my gosh. Well, and then I'm like, oh, well, what else is going on here? Okay. Thank you. Coming to the stream late. We limit gifts since we're celebrating several multi-faith family. We recycle the same gifts. Let me check here. Okay, so Amy, you asked, how do you tackle minimalism with a multi-faith family? Did you mean minimalism or gifts? Because that was my question. Minimalism threw me. So if it was Christmas, I did answer that. And I think the more to celebrate, the merrier. In the past, our children's grandmother filled each of their stockings with dollar bills, cash, and candy. They loved it. Oh, I bet they did. Here, we have loonies, which are like coins for $1. That would be heavy, but the kids would love it. It would be like, wee. Hello, you're welcome. Minimalish. Yes. No, not weird, human. So you're saying for the name? Okay. Thank you. You guys are also sweet. Minimalist light. I like that, because I was saying reasonable minimalist, but then I felt bad because I wasn't calling other people unreasonable. I like that. Minimalist light. Thank you, Eliza. Just this morning, I sent a text out to all of my family, okay, saying no gifts this year. This is my mom, brother, niece who is in her 30s, not immediate family. Yeah. So in our family, and I know a lot of people do this, is they would draw names. And that worked really well, like when all the kids were little. And now we don't really do that. But if we are getting together with my husband's family, usually we'll just like get everybody like a little bit of chocolate, and that makes it easy. Yes, don't worry. There are not a minimalist checklist. Thank you. Thank you. My mother's birthday is the 11th of December, so I grew up that Christmas does not start till after her birthday. And cards came down. And when I was a kid, okay, here's the thing. All of my trees are fake, despite the fact that I live in a forest. But I'm not chopping down those trees. They're huge. They're like really, really tall, like 100 feet tall. But I have the 4 fake trees that I put up. And but when I was a kid, we got real trees and oh, you guys, oh, the smell of a real tree. Oh, I love a real Christmas tree. But anyway, so um I feel like we didn't start decorating until probably like the earliest 2 weeks before Christmas. But I like having it all up in December. I love Christmas. One of the things I do once I have and this is why I like to do all of the planning now. Like all of the work is now. I like to bake, so I will do a little bit of baking in November, hide it in the broccoli bag, and then I'll bake a little bit more in December. And I make the Pioneer Woman's Christmas Jello, which is so delicious. It looks cool, but it is really tasty. So I will do that a little bit in December, but I want December time to just like watch a lot of Christmas shows. I want December time to go and do the fun things. I don't want it to be like, oh, I got to get all these things done, or like I got to go shopping. I want all of that done. And so that's why I like to get all of that done early, and then I get to go and make my wreath. That's one thing I can do, go out and get all the stuff, make a wreath. They're not far from here, there's some holly, and I go in my greenhouse and, oh, like, this is why I like to get, like, the work done now. Trust me. And I will get the minimal I will fix that checklist. My birthday is December 11th. December grew up. Christmas does not start till after her birthday and cards came down. Oh, yeah, we already said that. My husband's birthday is the 9th of December. So that's our barrier. That's awesome. Okay, you guys, this was so good. I'm going to fix that right now. And I will email it out to you. And I'll fix it to anybody else who didn't get it. So holiday handbook, that's what I'm talking about. I'll put the link one more time. Sign up for it. It's coming to you. I'm going to fix it in like 2 seconds. My curls are popping. That's funny. Thank you. Cozy minimalism in December for sure. Yeah. Woo. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I hope something fun happens for you today, and I will see you next time.